Hey, gorgeous Cancer, this is your reading for what is the new moon in your sign, new moon in Cancer. We've laid out a shortened Celtic cross and we'll go through and clarify it for you as we do. Thanks for joining me. Thank you for all your likes, shares and subscribes. It really helps. So, Cancer, you come out today with excuse the light, the Hierophant. The Hierophant with his key, crossed by the Lovers. This beautiful card of sort of integration, synthesis and choice. What I get from this is first up is that whether you're involved in a working within a kind of institution of sorts or a structure, well, I mean, it's pretty general, you know, but you've managed to retain a balance. I mean, I do actually think of people that work in kind of in social services and things of that nature, for community groups, or I don't know why I get that, but with the Hierophant, I often feel that it is sort of quite, it can be about institutions, but it can also be about information that you're ready to receive, that you can work with, allowing you to actually work with your strengths. I just get that from this. Of course, the Lovers is primarily about choice. And maybe this is something you've been trying to sort of balance out for a long time. How to best utilize your skills. And I think you've figured it out. At this current time. We'll go through anyway and we'll clarify for you, Cancer. The basis of all of this, of this whole reading, is the moon. So we walk through a new gate. The Hierophant gives you the key to that gate. And you don't necessarily know what's on the other side is the thing too, right? So this is part of the process of life. So keeping in mind these are really general readings for Cancer, whether it's ascendant, moon, Venus or Jupiter, or your sun sign. But I think you're on to something here, like you've figured something out. So we see the moon, the basis of this entire reading. We're walking through a new doorway, Cancer. And you're allowing yourself this. There's an element of bravery in this. What's behind you is this Wheel of Fortune, because you've had to sort of you've had to open more things up to the world. You knew that you had to keep going with the new kind of cycle is what I'm getting here, Cancer. And at this current juncture, we find this very Libran card, Justice, balancing. There's a lot of balancing going on. Or in fact, you've allowed that. You've faced a few things that maybe were quite difficult to enable you to be more balanced. We will clarify, as I say. Moving forward, we get the glorious 10, the 10 of discs. In the Thoth deck, it's called Wealth, and indeed it is. On every level, we're not just talking about material wealth, we're talking about wealth of family, friends, home, celebration, all of that sort of thing. But I do feel that you made whatever it is for you out there who may well be watching, that you had to make a choice about going into a new cycle, which was kind of pretty scary. I mean, you could say, well, mostly they are, not always, but and that there is a strong, you know, in this reading, there's a strong consideration for the people, you know, that are your tribe, I guess, the people that rely on you and those people that you rely on. There's a really strong sense of loyalty with these cards. So let's just see Cancer, beautiful Cancers. Let's have a look. What are we interested in here? What is this Hierophant? It's what I'm interested in, because I often feel the Hierophant is about sort of spiritual information that's quite personal to you. And in saying that, I don't mean religious. I mean information for you, from source or whatever. Yeah, and it is, you've opened up, you've allowed your Eight of Swords to take a back seat here. And we see it because we see the Lovers. So you've taken that step forward. You've made commitments not only to yourself, but to those in your circle. These are the sacred vows overseen by the Hermit and the Lovers card. And the Hermit plays a part and a role in that when we've shone a light internally in order to get to that point. The Hermit plays a big part in that. So let's just have a look at the Lovers, please. So you've overcome some self-limitations here. Let's just get some clarity, please, on the Lovers for for Cancer, the Six of Wands. You have overcome something. You've overcome quite a few things here. And other people see that. And in some ways, it's sort of like, well, you did it not only for yourself, but for those other people. I do see a group or a big family, an extended family here. Some kind of tribal situation. The basis of the moon, let's see. The great, the great moon. Well, look, I've got, excuse me, Cancer. Oh man, I've just got too many cards here. So we'll go with the ones that came out on the table. We have the Six of Cups, the Chariot, and the Emperor. I do believe you're utilising particular, as I said at the beginning, particular elements of your, particular elements, particular qualities that you have that aren't necessarily, they're not qualities, they're not like competitive, they're not like all those particular qualities that seem to be of value in the world that we live in generally. Competition, striving to, do better, to go beyond the crowd, to, all of those sort of things. So there's nothing wrong with that. But these are qualities, these are qualities that I would see to be far more gentler qualities, nurturing qualities that, of course, Cancer, you have. Everyone has those, usually. But you are quite strong in that in that zone, but you've managed to use those qualities in a way to benefit not only your family but other people, like I say, in some social service setting or something, community work, and you've found that balance between working within quite a rigid structure but being able to and utilise very nurturing qualities within those structures. You know, this is how things change from the inside out. We express that as humans, you know, from the inside out. And how do you change? It's like, how do you change? I'm not going to go into politics, but how do you change a political system? It's almost as if you're paralysed if you're in it. But in some ways, that's the only way to change it. It's almost like a little virus, and you plant the virus, you become the virus. Do you know what I mean? That's just what I'm getting, which is kind of weird in these times where we're, you know, because with the moon, you know, this sort of unseen thing. It's like we get the Six of Cups, we have the Chariot moving forward really fast, balanced, harnessed, but there's no control, harness. It's that you've managed to balance certain qualities within yourself, which has got you moving. We have the Emperor, very strong card. A sort of consort, even though, you know, this is beyond, it's not about gender. A lot of people have Emperor qualities, women, men, and every other configuration of gender in between. So it's not a gender thing. But I see this as, anyway, I'm going on a bit too much. I see this as you've found yourself able to utilise these really wonderful nurturing qualities within an environment that's quite fixed and quite structured. And other people see you doing this. Like, there's a lot of, I just see a lot of success here. As I say, other people see you doing this. We get the Seven of Swords, a tricky dicky card, because now I often feel that the Seven of Swords is something we do to ourselves, unless you're in a sort of subverting an institution from within, dear Cancer, or someone out there is, for the better, for a more nurturing way, for a more understanding way, a more inclusive way. If you're going through the back door, I do kind of feel that so that the seven, and there's this flock of birds that are just going round and around in a circle out here. Like, there's about 30 of them. I'm not quite sure what they are. And here they come again. Wow. Yeah, like the Seven of Swords. Interesting. But I do get, I do get that quite strongly. Anyway, let's look at the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune, please. Which is behind you, Cancer, the Wheel of Fortune. And you've willingly jumped on it, you know. You've willingly entered into this new cycle. This is a big new cycle. And I think will greatly benefit. Actually, I just lost my focus. Hang on, Cancer. Wheel of Fortune, please. Yeah. We have two cards look, this is really strong. We get the Queen of Cups. You yourself. We get the Empress here. Cancer, you yourself. If in the past you felt that you had to hide your light under a bushel, is what I hear. Hide your light under a bushel within whatever environment you've been in, whether that's work, home, whatever it is not like that anymore. And as I said earlier, it's taken bravery to do this. We get this absolutely powerhouse, emotional, glorious emotional queen whose cup never runs dry, because there's a constant free flow in and out. No kind of this thing of being depleted is not her thing. She just can't be. Especially with the Empress there as well. It's like two sort of soul sisters, actually. It's quite amazing. Let's have a look at Justice, or should I say Adjustment, in the Thoth deck. It is the card of Justice. In the current position for Cancer, please. Thank you. Just a card to clarify Justice. We get the Two of Swords. You're trusting fully in this process, whatever this is for you. These are general readings, but in this whole movement here, those birds, they're like white. They're kind of, I don't know, it's quite amazing. Two of Swords. You've trusted your intuitive voice. You've always seen through the crap. I do think that it's like it could be for someone that works in the justice system, this reading, and that you're a real powerhouse of like real emotional strength here. Real emotional strength. With that, we get the Ace of Discs, Pentacles, the doorway. Indeed, as we see here, you were not afraid to walk through that doorway, dear Cancer. And let's just see the Ten of Discs. I do feel it's that you're really able to fully utilize your talents and your skills in quite a structured environment, and you're doing it for lots of different reasons, but you've got a lot of respect, Cancer. Let's have a look at the Ten of Discs, please. Ten of Discs, Ten of Discs. Yeah, you got to the end of the line, actually, with you got to the end of the line with the Ten of Swords. This is basically like, I've learnt something here. I understand it. I've gone through this whole suit and it just clicked. I've got to the end of it, because this is the end. There's nowhere else to go. I've got to the end of it. I've understood in here and in my heart. And with that, we get the beautiful Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Discs. This whole reading is like, it feels like there's a matriarch patriarch, whatever lies in between those two, a really strong female presence in this reading. Someone who you know, carries a lot of other people with them, that it could be about, I do get that sense of justice system, or in quite rigid structures, you're making big changes here. And this has been a long time coming, and there's been a lot of patience involved, beautiful Cancer. And there's just those birds going around in circles. It's kind of wild. It's like, honestly, they're just going around and around. This has been a long time coming. We get from Brian Froud's Fairy Oracle, it's amazing. Geo the Slow. He knows the sun comes up. He's very patient. He's not stressing out here. He's very patient and able to wait. That's what I say. It feels like it's been a long time coming. And you've really made it here, Cancer. We get Ilb the Retriever, which is a very loyal card. It's about something returning to you that you thought was lost. Maybe something within yourself. And I do get a sense with these cards, with the Moon, with the Six of Cups, that this is something, you know, it's almost as if it's someone who's wanted to get to this point, you know, that like those people that know what they want to be doing when they're like 5 years old. They know it, and they've just been so directed and patient and focused. It really feels like that. Let's get a wee journey map for you, Cancer. It's quite an unusual reading. It's quite unusual. I mean, it's quite amazing. Yeah. You knew this. I mean, this is like your Geo the Slow. You've been patient. You've had faith. You've had other people believing in you, but you've also been carrying other people with you. We get the card of imaging, the card of the importance of those small imaginings, that everything starts with a seed, starts with the imagination. Everything. Whether it's a visual, whether it's a word, whatever it is, Cancer. And you've created this. You've created it for yourself. Beautiful Cancer. This is really self-made. Learning those lessons along the way. It's amazing, Cancer. Let's just get a wee Harlequin card. Star cards all mixed together for you today. Thank you. Yeah. And if there's any difficulty, which I don't see it, I just don't see it, there might be a decision made at this point with the Two of Swords. But it will become clearer as we near further down towards the full moon. If there is any question here, trust if need be, offer to source for clarity and relief. You're a powerhouse, Cancer. You are a powerhouse, and you have been for others as well. This is beautiful service here, and beautiful self-focus. On that note, thank you, Cancer, for joining me. This is amazing. And it's been, what's the word? Tongue-tied. It's been sort of this constant murmation of birds coming up right here above the screen outside. It's just amazing. Thanks, Cancer. I hope you enjoyed that. Take good care and check out all the other readings that will be coming in this week. We are doing a sort of personal treasures readings for each sign as well. So check those out. Thank you. Ka kite. Bye.